After 27 years of being a part of the Star Alliance, SAS or Scandinavian Airlines is now part of SkyTeam. And SkyTeam's not one of my favorite airline alliances, but with this new change, you can now book SAS flights in business class for as little as 35,100 points one way in business class or even less. In this video, I'm going to show you how. My name is Max and I help people maximize airline miles, hotel points, and credit card points. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and also go check out this new Discord channel as well, which I'll link down in the description as well. And let's get started. Like a lot of my videos, this video is split up into 3 sections: earn, redeem, and maximize. Let's first start off with earn and what miles and points you need to earn in order to make this redemption. For this redemption, you're gonna need Flying Blue Miles, which is the loyalty program for Air France and KLM. Good thing Flying Blue Miles are super easy to earn because a bunch of credit card points transfers over to Flying Blue, including American Express points, Bilt points, Capital One miles, Chase points, and even Citi thank you points as well. All of them transfer one-to-one over to Air France, KLM, Flying Blue, and you can transfer them instantly. If you're interested in supporting my work and using my credit card links, I'll drop my links down in the description, and using those links help support my work. Now moving on to the redeem part of this video. Scandinavian Airlines or SAS operates a bunch of nonstop routes from the US to Copenhagen and Copenhagen back to the US. They fly nonstop between San Francisco, LAX, Chicago, Toronto, Boston, New York, Newark, Washington, DC, Atlanta, Miami, over to Copenhagen. If you don't live near one of these airports, then you might have to reposition, because adding a connecting flight onto a itinerary for Air France, KLM, Flying Blue can be a little difficult when it comes to partner airlines. So you should consider repositioning to one of these major airports if you do find the award availability. As for how many points it will cost to fly some of these routes, well, it's split up into regions. So if you're flying from the East Coast, it's gonna be 35,100 points. If you're flying from the Midwest or the central part of the US, it's gonna be around 40,900 miles. And if you're going from the West Coast, it's around 52,500 miles. And then the economy rates will be also on the screen right now as well. So those redemption rates are pretty low, especially for business class, and some of them in economy as well. Another benefit is that the taxes and fees are pretty low as well. Outbound from the US over to Copenhagen is $33. Inbound from Copenhagen back to the US, it's around $73. And so very affordable taxes and fees, surprisingly, especially since we're booking through Flying Blue, which tends to have higher taxes and fees, but for SAS operated flights, it's really not that bad. Now, I'm gonna have to admit that award availability is pretty sparse, especially for business class. Economy is way easier, but business class, the award availability is pretty sparse. And so it's not often that you'll find SAS flights on Air France, KLM, Flying Blue's websites, but if you do find the award availability, you're getting a really good deal, and you can even maximize it even further. To search for the award availability, there's a couple different ways, and I'm going to show you a free way to search on an airline website and also a third-party tool as well. So let's start off with the free way to search on an airline website, and I like to use Delta's website in order to search for SAS award availability. So let's jump over to my computer. I'm going to show you how to search over on the Delta website. To search for this award availability for the Scandinavian Airlines flight or SAS flight, you can go and use delta.com. And the reason why I'm using delta.com is Delta is a SkyTeam partner. And so we can potentially use Delta to identify SAS flights on the Delta website. And I'll show you in a minute why we like to use Delta. So Chicago to Copenhagen, one way, December 28th, one passenger for now, and put in my dates are flexible. Make sure you check this box, my dates are flexible, and you want to shop with miles. Delta One will give you business class award availability, and hit search. And you'll get this result, which is not particularly helpful, but we want to go to price calendar, and then we want to filter this based off of nonstop flights. And we can do that by checking this button or click on this button over here that says nonstop. And this gives us the nonstop award availability from Chicago over to Copenhagen. And from Chicago to Copenhagen, SAS is the only airline that operates that route. And so whatever we find on this calendar is likely to be SAS award space. And so right here, we can see that this is January 18th there. We can go to the next month. And there's a couple dates in January and one date in February, or 2 dates in February and 2 dates in January here. And so like I said, award availability for business class is tough to find. It's not easy, but if you do find it, it's a really good deal. And so going back to January, February here, we're gonna ignore these numbers here. 375,000 Delta SkyMiles. SkyMiles is ridiculous. We're just gonna use these dates, and what we're gonna do is take these dates and go search these dates over on the Air France website. And so let's go January 31st, Let's click continue to double check and make sure this is an SAS flight. And so it's right here, SAS flight, Scandinavian Airlines, and there's 4 seats available and it's 375,000 Delta Sky Miles. Again, we're not booking through Delta Sky Miles. We're just gonna use this for their award calendar because it's easy to search month to month. So now moving over to Air France, what we're gonna do is log into your account and click on book with miles, Chicago to Copenhagen, January 31st, 1 adult in business class, and hit search. And these are the results. And as you can see here, the same exact flight, Chicago to Copenhagen, is 40,900 flying blue miles. And taxes and fees about $33, as I mentioned previously. So use the Delta website and use their award calendar to identify SAS operated flights, and you'll likely find it on the Air France website. It's not always 100%, but that's the best way that I know that you can quickly search for this award availability for free without using a tool. You can use Air France's website, but it's slow, and the Air France award calendar does not show the SAS flight. Of course, you can also search on the Air France website, but it's kind of glitchy and kind of annoying, and it's not very accurate. And when you use the award counter on the Air France website, it doesn't show SAS award availability for some weird reason. And so that's why I don't use Air France. I use Delta's website to identify the dates, and then I run the search over on the Air France website. Now, if you want to use a third-party tool to search for the award availability, I like to use Seats.aero, and this is not sponsored. I actually do use Seats.aero quite a bit. Let me show you how to search on Seats.aero. To use Seats.aero for this award space, what I like to do is go to search, and then I put in Copenhagen to the US or vice versa. And so let's switch that, and then direct flights only, 2 business class seats, and I select the business class, add plus or minus 80 days roughly, and then hit search. Now Seats.aero searches Air France and KLM, but I don't think it's very good at it. So what I like to do is focus on Virgin Atlantic and what Seats.aero is able to find on Virgin Atlantic. So filter this out by Virgin, and then sort this by business class. And this shows you the award availability for the dates from the US over to Copenhagen on the Virgin Atlantic page. And so of course you can book this through the Virgin Atlantic page, but if we want to book it through Air France KLM Flying Blue, then we just take this award availability and search for these same exact dates over on Air France KLM Flying Blue. And so as you can see here, Virgin Atlantic does charge a little bit more in business class here, 75,000 points and 85,000 points. And from the East Coast like JFK and stuff like that over to Copenhagen, I think it's at 60,000 points. So Virgin Atlantic, definitely bookable through Virgin Atlantic, but it is more expensive in points. Take these dates over here that Virgin Atlantic / Seats.aero gives you, and then search for these same exact dates over on Air France KLM Flying Blue. If you're interested in signing up for Seats.aero, it's free if you want to search for award availability 60 days in advance, but if you want to search for more than 60 days, then you have to pay for the subscription, which is $9.99 a month. And if you're interested in signing up for Seats.aero, I'll drop my link down in the description, and using that link helps support my work. So that's how you search for the award availability. As to maximizing this redemption, that's where transfer bonuses comes in. Every couple times a year, Air France, KLM, Flying Blue has transfer bonuses, whether it's through Chase, Capital One, American Express, and usually that transfer bonus is around 20%. And so if there's a 20% transfer bonus, that reduces the amount of credit card points that you have to transfer over to Flying Blue, and it makes the redemption even better. And in some cases, you can fly from the East Coast over to Copenhagen for as little as 30,000 credit card points, which is a crazy deal for a business class flight. And as you saw in the search demo for Seats.aero, you can also book SAS flights through Virgin Atlantic, and Virgin Atlantic often has transfer bonuses as well. And usually they're 40% transfer bonuses. And with that 40% transfer bonus, you can book from the East Coast over to Copenhagen in business class for as little as 43,000 Virgin Atlantic miles, which is still a pretty good deal as well. Obviously, booking through Flying Blue is a better deal, but sometimes people might be stuck with some Virgin Atlantic miles that you want to redeem, and SAS is a good option to redeem those Virgin Atlantic miles if you have some miles stranded with Virgin Atlantic. So overall, good redemption options whether you go through Virgin Atlantic or through Flying Blue. I was kind of bummed out when I heard SAS was leaving Star Alliance, but now that they moved over to SkyTeam and there's an opportunity to book some SAS flights with some very low redemption rate, I'm not too mad about it. I just hope they release more award availability to be bookable so that more people can fly SAS, because I feel like SAS is one of those airlines that a lot of people have never flown before or even heard of before. So I'll leave some more videos over here that will help you maximize your points even further. Thanks for watching this far, and I'll see you guys in the next one.